Political violence in Texas. We'll discuss this and more of today's top stories. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. We'll also be joined by Council Member Tiffany Thomas, who will tell us about the second annual Faith and Affordable Housing Summit.
And I'm Ernie Manous. We'll also be joined by Broadway veteran and University of Houston artist in residence Sally Mays to discuss an upcoming performance featuring acclaimed UH alum Billy Stritch.
Also, we want to hear from you. Give us a call or send us a text at 713-440-8870. Or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us on YouTube by going to houstonpublicmedia.com.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News, I'm Dale Willman. We're waiting for the start of President Trump's cabinet meeting where the government shutdown is expected to be discussed. That shutdown is now in its 9th day, and so far there appears to be no immediate path forward. Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire. It's supposed to go into effect later today. Israel is to free thousands of Palestinian prisoners and detainees, while Hamas is to release all 20 living hostages within days. NPR's Carrie Kahn reports that Israelis are celebrating the news.
In a downtown Tel Aviv plaza where families and supporters of hostages held in Gaza have gathered for more than 2 years of the war, crowds flooded in to celebrate. The United States of America. Many are praising President Trump. One man waving huge American and Israeli flags called Trump the 8th wonder of the world. Another person dressed as Trump posed for selfies with many. Dani Miran, the father of Omri, a hostage in Gaza, said he is on top of the clouds. It's a supreme feeling. I feel like I'm about to see my son any moment now, like he is reborn, he says. Carrie Kahn, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
A federal judge is hearing arguments today about the legality of President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Illinois. NPR's Sergio Martinez-Beltran reports from Chicago.
Many Chicago residents have 3 questions. Why is the National Guard in town? Do people need to protect themselves? And what can the city of Chicago do to block the National Guard from assisting ICE in the city? The Trump administration has said the Guard troops have orders to protect federal functions, personnel, and property, specifically ICE operations. Mayor Brandon Johnson says he will do whatever it takes to protect the residents and fight what he calls a federal invasion. Meanwhile, President Trump has called for the arrest of Johnson. Trump accused the mayor of failing to protect ICE officers. Sergio Martinez Beltran, NPR News, Chicago.
On Wall Street, investors are digesting better than expected earnings reports from Pepsi and Delta. NPR's Scott Horsley has our reports.
Pepsi sales in North America have lost a little fizz. The company points to falling demand for soft drinks and salty snacks in the region. That was offset, however, by stronger sales in Asia and Latin America, boosting Pepsi's worldwide sales by more than 2.5%. Delta Airlines also reported better than expected sales and profits for its most recent quarter. That gave a lift to Delta's own stock and shares in other airlines as well. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
Texas top criminal court has again paused the execution of Robert Robertson just days before he had been set to become the first person in the U.S. put to death in a shaken baby case. Stocks on Wall Street are down across the board slightly. This is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. Houston ISD's Board of Managers will consider firing union president and teacher Michelle Williams at their next meeting tonight. Williams is the union president of the Houston Education Association and teaches at Benbrook Elementary. She was assigned home duty with pay at the end of August for insubordination and, quote, failure to follow campus protocols. News 88.7's Bianca Seward has more.
This is the second time HISD has tried to fire Williams. She was removed from her classroom last year, but was later ordered by a court to be reinstated. Here's Williams ahead of her hearing.
Honestly, it's like deja vu. We'll just fight it just like we did the first time.
Williams says it's retaliation by HISD for filing grievances against the district as union president and leaving school to attend the grievance hearing. In a statement, HISD says, quote, filing a complaint is not an exemption from following supervisors' directives. I'm Bianca Seward, News 88.7.
The 42-day strike by workers at the Hilton Americas Houston is slated to end on Sunday, but union officials haven't ruled out another extension, and they haven't shared any progress on their wage demands at the negotiating table. News 88.7's Dominic Anthony Walsh reports the owner of the hotel, Houston First, doesn't appear to be in a rush to reach a resolution.
City Council member Joaquin Martinez, who holds a non-voting position on the Houston First board, has called for the city's convention corporation to push Hilton to accept the union's demands. But Houston First CEO Michael Heckman says Hilton is solely responsible for the negotiations. When pressed on Martinez's perspective, he insisted Houston First will not intervene.
There have been lots of these deals that have been done in the past, all done the way I've explained them, and we're confident that this one will get done the same way.
Hilton, for its part, continues to say it's, quote, committed to providing enhanced economic benefits for our valued team members. I'm Dominic Anthony Walsh, News 88.7.
You can hear more about the strike later this afternoon on News 88.7 In Depth. It's 83 degrees on the University of Houston campus. I'm Alexandra Hart, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Progressive Insurance with Snapshot, a personalized program that bases rates on safe driving habits, at Progressive.com. Not available in California or from all agents. This is NPR.
Live from the University of Houston, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870. Or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's your host for Hello Houston, Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
We're back.
We are back.
Hello, Houston.
Hello, Houston. It is Thursday, October 9th, 2025.
And beautiful. What a morning. I don't know if you were out for it, but we've already had this northeast wind shift. Why am I jumping into weather? You're looking at me like, boy, he's already so excited to talk about it.
I'm just happy you're talking about something else because Celeste just threw a voice bomb right before we started, and I have nowhere to go with it. So I'm happy. Take us to weather.
I think I shocked Ernie a little bit.
It really is beautiful out and clear skies. We need some rain. I know we're sort of droughtish out there technically, but if you're not going to have the rain, then you might as well have beautiful weather because that's the upside of October. So if you have Friday night football plans or whatever you're doing, you've got a big event, right? Saturday night movie night, outdoor movie night.
Okay, what day?
Saturday night.
Okay,
Saturday
you're
night.
in great shape.
Good.
I'm going to go down to Galveston Art Walk this Saturday night.
Oh.
I love Art Walk.
I guess you won't be at my movie night.
I will not be at your movie
Thank
night,
you for
but
telling
I
me.
can play the movie before maybe. What movie are you going to show? Are you going to tell or is it a surprise?
Son of Frankenstein, the original from the 30s, and then Young Frankenstein, which Son of Frankenstein inspired. Not a scary movie, but a Halloween movie, nonetheless, in my
Personal
opinion.
question.
Okay.
Do your movies come with closed captioning? Okay, I'm out.
They
I'm
should.
out.
I think that's a no.
I'm
That's
out.
a no. But you know where we're going to be tomorrow? We are going to be at the Bayou City Arts Festival.
Live.
You are.
Live. That's where
Yes.
I'm going to be. So it's going to be exciting. So I'm glad to hear that it's beautiful weather because there are, festivals going on in Galveston,
So many.
festivals
We're
going on in
talking about the
Houston.
Filipino festival today and the African American Jazz Brunch that's going on. There's
Beautiful.
it's just
We're talking about
October's the
upcoming concert.
month,
There's a lot.
you know?
Yeah. But also there's a lot going on in the world around us.
You got that right.
And we woke to some very hopeful news, I am thinking. So, Celeste, take us into the headlines.
Thanks, Ernie. Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire deal intended to end the devastating Gaza war that unleashed the deadliest fighting ever between Israelis and Palestinians. After 2 years of bloodshed, large majorities in Israel and the Palestinian territories welcomed the end to the brutal conflict. The agreement prompted relief, hope, joy, and celebrations on both sides after 2 years of agony. President Donald Trump announced the agreement on Truth Social on Wednesday evening. He wrote, "This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers.
It's very exciting news if it holds.
A lot of ifs.
Yeah, there's a lot of ifs in this. There's a lot of wait and see. Mm-hmm. But what's good is the first steps, it seems, toward having something that could maybe bring an end to all of this. It won't bring an end to all of this, but it'll stop the bloodshed currently.
Right.
We're hoping.
And this is very preliminary, right? But it is showing that we're moving in the right direction. Clearly, there have been some major inroads. Again, details are still unfolding. There's a lot of questions that people have. But it does seem that there is some real conversations happening.
Well, they're supposed to start releasing prisoners this weekend.
Right.
There are 20 alive, Israelis alive, and then there are bodies to be released, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But those would come, and then there are like 1,700 Palestinians that will be released.
Well, I am hoping it's good news simply for the fact that the president wants to go there and be there, and he's planning on heading out on Friday. Yep. So I'm hoping that they believe things are moving in the right direction. But Celeste, sometimes we talk without knowing all the facts on this as deeply as some people.
Yeah. And joining us now is University of Houston professor Hanan Hammad. Professor Hammad teaches undergraduate and graduate courses on Islamic history, modern Arab and Middle East history and culture, labor, gender, and sexuality in Global South. Welcome to Hello Houston, Professor Hammad.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
So I guess I would start right off with, from all we're hearing at this point, we'll go into a little of the details in a moment, but is this a moment of hope, and are you looking at this as a very positive sign?
Definitely. Cautious hope. That moment brings about concrete steps for stability, concrete actions for bringing food to starving people in Gaza, ending the war, also bringing hostages back to Israel.
So it seems that, Professor, it would be, on the face of it, humanitarian-wise, an excellent move. Politically, can it sustain itself?
Without continuing pressure from the White House on Israel, particularly the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, I would say the plan will continue, because we experienced moments like that previously. It was not that on that scale, but we experienced agreement on ceasefires, returning hostages, and also allowing humanitarian aid to people in Gaza. But then Benjamin Netanyahu actually would continue bombarding Gaza. And unfortunately, the American President Trump kind of sort of came along.
Help me understand exactly what is in this agreed upon settlement, truce, whatever we're calling it right now. There were multiple steps to it, and so people understand what is on the table and also what actually isn't on the table.
This is the first step towards President Trump's plan. The plan itself has so many items that incredibly vague, unclear, and lacks timetable and timeline, and also many problematic actions were suggested in that plan. However, what is signed off last night that gave us hope is a first step that includes concrete actions towards ending the war. Israel would stop bombarding Gaza and the agreement, and some promise or guarantees from President Trump that ending bombarding Gaza would continue after Hamas would deliver the Israeli hostages, those who were alive are alive, and those who were killed. Also returning or releasing 240 Palestinian prisoners that have lingered quite a bit in Israeli prisons from all ages, genders, although we are not really sure about the list that Israel would accept, in addition to about 1,700 people from Gaza were actually kidnapped by Israel during the last campaign.
Professor
This is
Hammad,
on the agreement that was signed already.
okay, so if Hamas gives up the hostages, that's their leverage. So where are they without that leverage? And what's to keep Israel from just coming and steamrolling them?
Also, in that first step, that Hamas would give up power in Gaza and would surrender its weapons, which is not much anyway, to a Palestinian security entity, probably with the help of Egypt. So that could be something that Israel have been asking for, and actually Hamas has accepted it at least twice before. The challenge is, would Israel go back and continue bombarding or stop withdrawing from Gaza? That's very much possible because Israel could do it anytime, all the time.
Help us understand what is left of Hamas at this point.
We know that the popularity of Hamas is so low. So this is something to keep in mind. What is left of Hamas is not very clear. I mean, we have been experiencing 2 years of war without much details of what is going on inside the Strip. So what is left, we don't really know, but most probably big deal of its infrastructure was already destroyed, and many of its leadership were killed. However, what brought was behind the creation of organization like Hamas would continue to exist because Hamas in the core is a resistance group, even if we disagree with its choice of resistance. But it's a resistance against the occupation of the Palestinian territories by a foreign country, which is Israel. As long as Israeli occupation would continue, Palestinian formations for different types of resistance, pacifist and otherwise, would continue.
So what then actually happens to Gaza? Does it become a Palestinian state, and what would that mean? Or does it cease to exist with simply an extension of Israel where Palestinians live?
I mean, we know for sure that Gaza is Palestinian land. And if the international community would move with the Palestinian aspiration to form their own statehood, Gaza is an important part of that state, and also it has to be crucial to be connected to the West Bank, the other part of Palestinian territories that has been occupied by Israel since 1967.
So is it a two-state solution then? Are we saying that we're at a two-state solution at this point?
It has been always in the table, although Israel never committed to it. Worse than that the expansion of Israeli settlements on Palestinian lands, disconnecting these territories that actually make the possibility of having a viable, durable Palestinian state very questionable.
You know, President Trump says this is the first phase, obviously, of this peace plan. From your perspective, Professor, what would you think that would need to be critical for a second phase to happen?
That the construction starts right away for Palestinians, by Palestinians, with the help of the international community. Something in President Trump's plan that makes things concerns everybody, that he's imposing an international council that is very much led by Tony Blair, with shameful, embarrassing record of failure since invading Iraq, and also his strong alignment with the Israeli line that makes Palestinians concerned.
I have a quick question. What does this do to the Houthis and other terrorist groups in the region? Does it knock the wind out of their sails, or do they power up?
I don't think that the Houthis have much connections with Palestinians anyway. Houthis using their support for Palestinian causes, which is a just cause actually for their own issues. So giving Palestinians hope for peace, security, and investment to develop or to rebuild their infrastructure, their children going back to school to be well fed, and their hospitals to operate, etc., would actually take that cause away from the Houthi or anyone in the region that would like actually to manipulate or use the Palestinian cause, which again is a just cause.
Well,
the issue is like who's using it for what.
I'm reading that this is a boon for Netanyahu, that he was probably on his way out if this hadn't happened, and that this is going to be a big gimme on the upcoming election whenever he calls it, and he has to call it within the next year.
An excellent question. And actually, many observers, including myself, would argue that the continuation of that war that became very much senseless and inhuman caused lots of damage to Israel's position in the international stat level. And the isolation, etc., and we see that the waves of popular uprisings actually, to against Israel, which had never happened in the history of Israel, was very much a prize for Netanyahu to continue in power, because he knew once this war ended, he would face criminal charges, he would face the collapse of his coalition that led the far right-wing government, which is the farthest right wing in Israel history, etc. So definitely this news is not good news for Netanyahu. We know that Israeli people also have been demonstrating on a regular basis against that war and asking him the tough question that he managed to put it off throughout continuing bombarding Gaza, which is the failure of his regime in protecting people of Israel from an attack coming from very much a militia group that has been under siege for 17 years using almost homemade weapons.
Okay.
So this was a big failure from a state like Israel that prides itself to have one of the best, strongest armies.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the insight, Professor. We appreciate it.
University of Houston Professor Hanan Hammad. Professor Hammad, again, thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thanks for having me.
And coming up on Hello Houston, we'll talk with Councilmember Tiffany D. Thomas about the second annual Faith and Affordable Housing Summit. This is News 88.7.
That story that you just heard is why we are here and why you are here. If you're listening to Hello Houston right now, we're asking you to help to keep our trusted local programming strong. All this is possible because you stand up for the station you rely on. This is so true, especially now that Houston Public Media is entirely supported by you. Make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. As you know, I'm Ernie Manous.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. Your gift right now is what will bring us closer to the $200 gift or $200 gift needed to unlock $25,000 for Houston Public Media. And that will go right back into bringing you the news and information that you rely on every single day. It doesn't matter how much you give. What matters is that you stand up for the station you rely on. Make your gift and get us closer to the goals now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
At Houston Public Media, we're standing strong in our community to serve Greater Houston with integrity, clarity, and purpose. However, now that we have no federal funding, we're relying entirely on this community, on you. Every emergency alert, every fact-checked story, it all depends on listener support. Be part of what keeps this human-powered service going. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And thank you for making Houston Public Media what it is, a trusted source of news, storytelling, and connection for our entire community. And that's the key. It's for everyone. Your support reaches your neighbors, your city, and beyond. When you give, you're not just keeping the station strong, you're making a real impact on people's lives. We are grateful you are part of it. Please give today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
You know, we're doing something new this time. We're very close. We need 200 gifts to unlock $25,000 for Houston Public Media. Imagine your gift being the one that tips us over the edge. So don't wait. Join us right now. It's quick, it's easy, it's convenient. Go to houstonpublicmedia.org and support the station that supports you.
I'm Jesse Thorne. You want some real... Want to binge All Creatures Great and Small, catch up on Nova, or revisit Ken Burns' documentaries? You can with PBS Passport. With a gift of $5 or more per month to Houston Public Media, you'll get access to PBS Passport that lets you watch your favorite programs anytime you want. Support the programs you love and enjoy them on your own schedule with PBS Passport. Make your gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
A self-help book with taxes.
A book with the bizarre title of Learning to Love Form 1040.
I'm Kai Rizdal, learning to live, laugh, love taxes next time on Marketplace.
You can listen to Marketplace. It's coming up tonight at 6:30.
Houston Public Media is a service of the University of Houston and is supported with your gifts to the Houston Public Media Foundation. More information available online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
We're grateful that you're tuning into Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Support comes from the Elizabeth D. Rockwell Center on Ethics and Leadership, presenting AI and Our Future, a lecture with Internet Studies scholar and author Sophia Noble on October 16th at the University of Houston. More at uh.edu/hobby.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on today's topics, call or text 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
This weekend, faith and community leaders from across Houston will gather to tackle one of the city's most pressing challenges, and that is affordable housing. Council member Tiffany D. Thomas is hosting the second annual Faith and Affordable Housing Summit, an event that brings together churches, developers, financial partners, and advocates to reimagine how underutilized land can serve as a foundation for housing and hope. Special guests include Congressman Emanuel Cleaver II and Pastor Kirby John Caldwell, along with major voices in housing and finance. And joining us now to talk more about this vision and how Houston is turning faith into action is Councilmember Tiffany Thomas and Courtney Johnson-Rose. Thank you for joining us on Hello Houston, both of you.
Thanks for having us. So lay out the whole landscape here. What's the biggest challenge that we're facing with this?
Well, Frank, I will tell you the genesis of this summit. Last year, a group of ministers came to public session and they said, Mayor and Council, we want to be a part of the city's vision and mission. We want to serve our seniors. We want to serve and create housing for those that, work at the local grocery store, but we just don't know how to do it. And they really were the genesis and the inspiration of this. So we hosted the inaugural one last year. The appetite was so strong for faith institutions and nonprofit organizations wanting to participate in making sure that we can divert a possible housing crisis in the city.
And Courtney, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role in all of this? Obviously Council members Thomas is putting this together. What type of role are you playing in this?
Yeah, so I am a real estate broker and real estate developer here in the city. So I really see firsthand every day this challenge and how exasperated it has been over the past few years. Give this example. Average Houstonian makes around $61,000 a year. The scenario is they should spend 30% of that on housing and utilities. That's about $1,500 a month. But there's hardly anywhere in the city that you can find that's decent and safe for your family at $1,500 a month. Houston used to be known as a very affordable city, and it's quickly changing. What the council member is doing is gathering the right people at the right time to have this very important and critical conversation before it's too late for our city.
So, Councilmember Thomas, you said this is your second annual one that you're hosting event. What is the difference between last year's and this year's?
Well, I will say it'll be better. That's number one.
We've learned a lot, right?
We've learned a lot. And,
yes.
and what we realized in participating in the first one is that a lot of faith institutions and faith leaders, they have a vision. They believe that God has instructed them to serve community in a certain way, but they may not always have the technical skills and assistance needed. They may not understand what financial institutions need to know from them in their project in order to make this successful. So we are expanding the expertise. We have a financial panel of local banks, regional banks that are interested in investing in local community and want to align. And then we also have those who do it, just like Courtney Johnson-Rose. They do it every day. And these faith leaders need to make sure that they can have the right partners to help get their vision to the end of the line, and then also understand how the city operates and what our priorities are as well.
You talk about the improvements that are moving into the next one. But when you look back at last year, what did you glean, learn, or what was eye-opening in what you saw when you all came together?
Yeah, from the feedback, people really appreciated the networking. They really, that organic understanding of, you too, you have land, get them all in the same room. And you realize there are nonprofit organizations that can complement their work. At the city level, oftentimes they come and they believe we just give money out. And it's not. That's not, right? And the little money we got. The little money we got, we don't just give it out, but we have an aging population in Houston, and for seniors who choose to age in place, why can't they do that near, next to, or close their faith institution where they practice their faith? Or why can't that institution, after the pandemic, we church differently, right? We're online, things have changed. And a lot of these faith institutions own acres of land, community space, and we need to reimagine what that is, because the city of Houston and the federal government, they won't save us. We have to partner in, and I think our faith institutions are the best partners to help us move the city forward.
So that's what I want to ask you about, solutions, because I understand the number, 61,000, 1,500. You can't just make people have more money.
Correct.
That's not a solution. And you can't make these apartments come about necessarily for 1,500. So what kind of solutions really work? I don't mean pipe dreams.
Sure.
But what's really going to work?
Sure. So we have federal dollars that come to the city. That's how the Housing and Community Development Department operates. We often put out bids for proposals where we are looking for new construction, rehabilitation, acquisition of properties. And at the end of the day, we are looking for those that have capacity and understanding that can reimagine community space and align with the city's priorities. What's in the news right now is homelessness. It's a huge issue in our city, something that we're tackling as a council with the mayor's administration. There are many faith institutions that also have a heart for the unhoused, right? So if we can reimagine their space and look at how we leverage our dollars, then maybe that's not something that we encumber, but we can support an effort that's already moving forward.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Is there any type of financial benefit to this for faith-based organizations, and are you running into any type of conflict there?
No, we actually have partners like Enterprise Community Partners. For those who are registered, there's a huge announcement that they're going to offer to faith institutions to scale them up. Courtney can talk more about that as well.
So one of the things I want to mention, back to Frank's question on this problem, how do we solve it? How we solve it is community development. What has to happen is that to develop affordable housing, the focus has to be on impact and not on profit. So we really need the churches to step up. They own land, they have the resources in many cases, but now we're adding to them the education and the tools that they need. There's a lot of tools out there for them, as Councilmember Thomas mentioned, but to be able to utilize them effectively, know what they qualify for, that's what Saturday really is all about.
And what about applications for people that, they do background checks, they want to know about credit reports? A lot of the people that need this help, they don't have great credit reports, and they don't have great backgrounds sometimes.
And that's the reason for community development. Churches, faith-based institutions have that sensitivity that a typical developer may not have, because the market has so much much demand, there has to be developers that have that sensitivity to some of the issues that you mentioned. And that's what we find that faith-based leaders have.
Let me just
go ahead.
Please.
Okay.
No, you go.
Well, and let me add this. It's not just for faith leaders. So, you may be listening to this and saying, oh, well, I'm not a pastor. We don't have acres. But you may have you're ready to purchase that home. You may need credit repair. You may need to understand the mortgage products available.
Excellent
the
point.
Financial literacy you need before you purchase a home.
Mm-hmm.
We have that as well. Many of our financial institutions that are joining us will also have vendor tables for that information. The city's housing department will be there. We're offering down payment assistance up to $125,000.
Wow.
Unheard of in the city of Houston.
Yes.
Those applications, they are moving quickly. We want to make sure that those resources are available to everyday Houstonians. You may be living in a generational home, your grandmother's house, your uncle's home, and you may have a tangled title. We have resources there for you. So this is the entire continuum of housing in the city.
The full ecosystem.
Let me just go. And you kind of walked into that a little bit of what I wanted to ask, but I'm happy I let you say what you did. I'm curious about folks who may not have a strong faith base and feel as though if this is faith-based, it's not talking to me. Is this open to all people in need?
Open to all people in need, whatever it is. What we want to do is leverage the land of these sacred spaces for the benefit of the public, which matches their mission anyway. And when we're talking about not just housing, but also economic development, some of these institutions want to create jobs, right? And so they want to revitalize commercial areas. They need to be at that summit as well. So if you're an individual interested in purchasing a home, if you're a nonprofit institution and you want to serve youth aging out of foster care, if you are a faith leader and you've acquired acres and you said it's time for us to do something different, then Saturday, October 11th is for you, so we can address the entire continuum of housing in the city.
You talk about providing resources, and bringing all of that together in regards to actual infrastructure and logistics for building housing and, helping people in that regard.
Sure.
What about sustainability for once a person is in a home?
Yeah.
That's such a great question. Because a lot of what we're seeing is because the marketplace inflation is going up so high, there always has to be a focus on sustainability. One of the things that we've noticed in the real estate market is that if we educate buyers going in, they are less likely to foreclose if they go through home buyer education. So all of the programs that Councilmember Thomas referenced, those buyers have to go through home buyer education.
I've always thought that Habitat for Humanity has a great model because the people purchasing have a dog in the hunt.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
they have skin in the game.
They have skin in the game, absolutely. So let me tell you a couple of these YouTube comments. This is from Jaime Oliveras. Councilmember Thomas is my council member, and she is excellent. Okay. Now, Jaime also wants you to go over the panel discussions that are going to be available at the summit, not just the vendors and churches.
Sure, absolutely. So we have a financial panel. We have Texas First Bank. We have those from our TERSs in the city. So financial leaders who are going to be able to share. When you come to the bank or the regional, you have a relationship with your banker. This is what we're looking for in order to support your project, right? It's not just I had a vision and I had a dream. We got to make dollars make sense, right? So they're going to walk participants through products that they have available. The panel with our industry experts, they're going to talk to you about what's really happening around development, what's really available, things they need to know around technical assistance. So if you do have a vision and a dream, and you don't know how to put it together, the developers, the builders, they're going to be in the room to say, this is what it looks like. Architects, designers, the entire continuum. And so I think people will learn, have access to new information, but also solidify some new relationships that they didn't know they needed in order to make this happen. And the reality, and I'm glad that you brought this point, regardless of your faith practice, if you have one at all, housing is for everyone, right? And I think government and our faith communities is the only places where good should happen regardless of what you believe.
We are frighteningly in sync because you keep taking me to where I want to go next. And my next question is not just inventory of what's out there, but when you talk about developers, if we're looking dollars and cents, they really don't want low-income properties. They don't want low-income residents. They're looking to develop bigger, better, nicer, estate-looking properties. How do we combat that in this city today? Is it something we have to combat?
Sure, at times. And I think a lot of times the big developers, take away from those community-led developers that are intentional about revitalization. They're intentional about buying up the block and making sure that people can stay. And I will tell you, Courtney and I are colleagues at Prairie View A&M. We teach in the community development program. So she's my co-collaborator in many ways. A lot of communities are interested in revitalization. After 35 years, they want something new too. Yeah. Their issue is, can we participate in what you create? And I think who we are attracting at the summit on Saturday are those community-led developers that are interested in keeping the fabric of the community, but also bringing their resource available.
Can you get the bigger developers to come and play ball too and say, you know what, we're developing this big thing, but we can also work in this sector?
Absolutely. Yes. And the Greater Houston Builders Association is actually one of our sponsors, and they'll be moderating one of the panels because I actually was with them yesterday, and they want to be a partner and co-create in these communities as well. A lot of times it's regulation at the local level, state level, federal level that really binds their hand and limits the affordability that rolls back to the homeowner.
And Courtney, when we're looking at Houston and the Greater Houston area, what areas are y'all planning on targeting and talking about at this event?
Great question. It's really the Greater Houston area, and compliments to Councilmember Thomas for not just doing this just for her district, but doing it for Houston, because it's so important and the problem is everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say Galveston does a pretty good job. I love Galveston. They do a pretty good job with subsidized housing down there. I see a lot of units going up. So you might give them a call.
Yeah, well, no, Galveston actually transformed after Hurricane Ike and Rita, right? And so they had an opportunity with substantial federal dollars to really reimagine what community looks like. And so they had an opportunity to do that. Houston, we've had that opportunity recently with Hurricane Beryl, the $314 million, where we have invested $100 million in not just in preservation, but also new construction and also mitigation of vegetation, debris, and all of that.
Quickly, we are almost out of time here. Where and when, and is this summit? I assume it's free.
Yes.
Give me the nuts and bolts.
Sure. Saturday, October 11th, at no cost to those who participate. We'll be at 601111 West Orem at the KBC, which is the Kingdom Builder Center. When you approach the Kingdom Builder Center, you will see Corinthian Point, a subdivision. You will see a school, a YMCA, an independent living facility, and it's a demonstration of what the Windsor Village United Methodist Church family was able to do. And so they will be present and talking about, really how do we make that vision a reality. So that's what will be on Saturday.
And that is Council Member Tiffany D. Thomas. Thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston, and Courtney Johnson-Rose, the president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Thank you both for joining us today.
Having us. We'll see you Saturday.
Yes, and coming up, we're going to talk to Sally Mays about honoring Billy Stritch. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues.
Every story, just like the one we just had, we produce these stories and we bring these stories, we cover them for you. It's all possible because of you, and we need your help to keep that sort of independent reporting strong. I got to tell you how many people call us and say, I want to be on Hello Houston,
all the time,
because they know that we're going to give them a fair opportunity to tell us what is going on in their community, and it's all about community. Houston Public Media is now completely community supported, so why wouldn't we focus on community? It's different for us, and that's why we're turning to you. We lost our federal money. We need yours. So please make your gift and support the station that you rely on to get your news at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or call us 888-909-0887. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. This morning was the Unlock Challenge that we were talking about in our first break, and we blew through that first challenge, and we blew it out of the water. So we're doing another one. We need 100 gifts to unlock $5,000. You already count on this station for trusted news, and now the time to power what's next. And if you've been waiting to give, wait no longer. If you want to unlock the $5,000 yourself, show us what you got. please make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
You know, everyone's heard we lost the public funding from the federal government. That happened this last spring. So every essential service that you count on is now powered basically by you, by this community. You are really the engine behind what we do. When the next storm hits, and it will, when misinformation spreads, and it does, when clarity matters, that is where you turn. Public media. You know that we are here for you. But we can only be here because people like you give. So please don't wait for someone else to do it. Please do it yourself. Step up now. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
And this station is here for moments that matter, the quiet ones, the urgent ones, the stories that stay with you. And so now is the time to give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or pick up the phone, 888-909-0887.
So if you're looking for the perfect time to give, guess when it is, Celeste? Right now.
Yes, it's right now.
Oh, we just got one. Currently, we're now just 59 gifts away
Great.
from unlocking $5,000. So if we get 59 gifts while we're on this morning, we'll unlock an additional $5,000. So if there's no gift that's too small. So please, your gift is going to move us in that direction of unlocking that $5,000. Doesn't matter how much you give. What matters is that you participate right now. Be the reason that we unlock those funds. Go directly into the station that you can rely on. They go directly to us. So give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
And every gift made during this campaign makes a difference at Houston Public Media. So go now. Go to HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or pick up that phone, 888-909-0887. And thank you.
The government shut down.
We know you value Houston Public Media. That's why you're watching right now. So take the next step and become a new member of the station you rely on. Every gift makes a difference. And what matters most right now is supporting the station that brings you the news and information you rely on. It only takes a minute to make a big difference. So join as a new member today at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 800-364-8300.
Pet care or gardening questions you'd like us to tackle when those subjects come up each month on the show. Or maybe you have suggestions for how we can improve the program and provide a better public service. Reach out anytime at talk@houstonmatters.org. I'm Craig Cohen. Join us for the next Houston Matters, weekday mornings at 9 here on News 88.7.
We're grateful that you're tuning into Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
I'm Jeremy Hobson. Next time on The Middle, the government shutdown has led to the usual finger-pointing, with Republicans blaming Democrats and Democrats blaming Republicans.
Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the government down.
Whoever you blame, the consequences of a shutdown are real.
We'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected.
So how is the government shutdown affecting you? We're taking your calls next time on The Middle.
You can hear it Thursday at 8 p.m.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on today's topics, call or text 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Next Friday night, UH will host a spectacular night of music and storytelling as the University of Houston proudly presents An Evening with Billy Stritch and the 2025 UH Singers. This year's annual performance is an extraordinary celebration of song featuring acclaimed UH alum Billy Stritch returning to his hometown stage alongside talented students under the direction of Broadway veteran and artist-in-residence Sally Mays. Here to tell us more herself is Sally Mays. Sally, welcome back to Hello Houston.
Thank you. Hello. How are you?
We are good. If you would like to join the conversation, give us a call, 713-440-8870. I don't want to bury the lead on any of this, but Billy, coming home. For those who don't know who we're talking about, you're on.
Billy Stritch has been my friend since I was 17 years old. And we started out at University of Houston together under the tutelage of Cecil Pickett and Sidney Berger over in the theater department. And we would sing at parties. We would sit down and sing at parties. And we with our friend Sharon Montgomery, who lives here and is the secretary-treasurer of the Musicians Union. Thank you very much. She's a very powerful person, very important person. And so we would sing at parties, and we had like 3 songs that we did well with like perfect harmonies, and we just had this great blend like automatically. And one night we went to see Janet and Nat Adderley at Rascals, and they said, "Hey, you want to sit in? You remember Rascals? It's where Tootsie's is now, you know." And we went, "Sure." And so we got up and we sang our 3 songs, and the manager came over and said, "Well, I'd like to book you." And we're like, "What?" And that started the whole thing. And the first night there were maybe like 3 tables of people there, you know, that we knew. And when we went, the girls' bathroom was never crowded in that bar for reasons that are pretty obvious. And so that was our little.
We say gay bar on this show.
Okay, I didn't know. That was our little respite. That's where we would go to cool off. And as we walked back there, we saw a line at the phone bank when they had, phones, like not cell phones. They had big phone banks there, and there were all these people on the phone, and we're like, well, that's weird. And the next night when we got there was no place to park. The whole parking lot was full. The room was packed. And so we were like an instant success. And we worked all over the Southwest, and we went to New York a couple of times. I left to have my own rock and roll band in Dallas, and then I ended up going to New York, which is where I always should have been, to do Broadway and theater. But we had such a wonderful time together, and that blend is still there. And the rumor is that very important Sharon Montgomery is going to come and join us for a tune.
She is.
We're going to have a Montgomery Mays and Stritch reunion, and so it's going to be really fun. Just one song, but it's going to be really fun.
Okay, before we get into all of that too, so what ignited Billy's career, and tell folks what were the highlights that made him who he is today?
Well, they did really, really well. It was Montgomery Plant and Stritch after I left. They did really well. They did jazz festivals. They toured all over the world. They were really, really they were great. And so when they split apart, because everybody had things that they wanted to do, that's usually why it happens, Billy stayed in New York, and he was playing at a club called Bobo's. And one night, Liza Minnelli walked in. And she heard him play and like, oh. And so she went and sat on the piano bench with him, and they talked to each other. And about a week later, he was her musical director for her show at Radio City. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
talk about being in the right place
in the right place at the right time.
But having the right talent. Too. Billy is amazing.
The thing that Billy has that is so incredibly special, and that very few piano players have, is that he makes you sound like $1 million no matter what. He doesn't need a chart. You just tell him a tune and a key, and he will make it sound like, an orchestra. And he's so very good at what he does. And also one of the kindest, funniest, dear people that I have ever known. He's one of my dear friends. He's family to me, And this last year, he was given a Distinguished Alumni Award at University of Houston. And so I thought for my program this year, because I always bring in a guest artist, I bring them here every year. We had Faith Prince, we had Amanda McBroom, we had Jason Robert Brown. And so this year I thought, I'm going to bring in Billy. And we're getting all those alums to come to the show because they all love him.
So, speaking of family,
yes,
maybe it's bad form to bring up people's moms. I don't know. But Billy Stritch is related to Elaine Stritch.
No.
No?
No.
They're not related at all?
No, not at all. She's not his mom. His mom was Miss Jane Stritch.
Why does everybody think that?
Rest her soul. Did
they know each other, Elaine and Billy?
Well, Elaine died a few years ago. I don't know if I knew her, but I don't know if Billy knew her. I'm sure he did. He met everybody along the way.
I would think, because I don't know a lot of Stritches. I mean,
I'm sure they must have met. She was. I have a story about her if you want to hear it, but it's not about Billy. It's about me.
Okay, let's hear about
Quick story about Sally.
Quick story about Sally. So I was doing this show at the Miriam Rosenberg Theater. It's a little off-Broadway theater that was owned by the Roundabout, and I was doing a show called Good Old Girls, and it was a North Carolina show, and Terry Ralston was in the show with me. She was in the original company. And so she was friends with Elaine, and she was friends with Donna McKechnie. And so they came to the show the last weekend. And, Elaine came with her handler, and, she had on the suit and the big glasses and the hat. And she was there. And, after the show, because it was Terry's friends, I didn't want to get in their faces. We all were introduced, and I said hello. But they were there to, hoo-hoo about Terry. And so I just kind of excused myself, said thank you for coming, and then I'm walking out of the building a little while later with my stuff to head for the train, and Elaine is sitting on the fountain out in front of the theater waiting for her car, right? And she's sitting there very straight. And as I walked past, I didn't know whether to say anything or not, but she looked up at me and she went, "You knocked my socks off." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he's like, so that's what I got from Elaine.
So when is Billy going to be on?
Yeah, I expect a lot's going to knock socks off on next Friday, including the UH Singers. We've only got about 30 seconds left.
Well, we call them the UH Singers Collective, and they are my students every year. I come down here and teach them how to tell a story through song. And they're delightful and beautiful, and I'm so excited for you to see them. And this year we're doing standards because of Billy. We're doing the Great American Songbook, and we're doing musical theater songs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Beautiful.
It's going to be fantastic. I hope you can come.
Sally Mays, thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thank you.
An Evening with Billy Stritch and the 2025 UH Singers Collective takes place next Friday, October 17th at the Jose Quintero Theater at UH School of Theater and Dance. Coming up, we're going to continue diving into today's top stories. Stay with us for the second hour of Hello Houston.
Hey, we rely on each other, don't we? You rely on Houston Public Media, and right now we are relying on you. We're 100% community funded. No more federal dollars coming our way, and your gift makes everything you hear possible. So visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. Please make your gift now. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Celestia Sherman. Your gift matters right now more than ever. And we're just 58 gifts away from unlocking $5,000 for Houston Public Media. But it only happens when we reach that goal. It takes listeners like you stepping up in this moment. Don't assume that somebody else will do it and that your gift doesn't matter, because it absolutely does matter. And make your gift count and help unlock $5,000 at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or pick up that phone. 888-909-0887.
Because of you, Houston Public Media is still here sharing trusted news, life-saving alerts, and local stories that connect us. We've lost federal funding, that did not shut us down. We have not lost momentum because this community continues to show up. And today, we're asking you to be a part of that story. So please, let's keep these things going. Make your gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
Every time you tune in or pull up YouTube, Houston Public Media is here with trusted news, stories that uplift, and programs that reflect the heart of our community. That's only possible because of the generosity of people like you. Your support brings knowledge, connection, and hope to your neighbors. And for that, we are truly grateful. Keep this mission going with your gift today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up that phone, 888-909-0887.
Stay tuned. There's more Hello Houston on the way with Ernie Manous, Celestia Sherman, and Frank Billingsley. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Every week on The Pulse, we hear stories at the heart of health, science, and innovation. Sometimes physicians make confessions.
We were dead wrong.
Nurses tell us what they dream about.
Beep, beep. Yes, you dream about it.
We explore how science is done.
When we're looking for the needle in the haystack, we want to look in the right haystack.
And we have frank discussions about ideas.
It's a joke!
The Pulse, Sundays at 2 p.m. on News 88.7.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Bayou City Art Festival, October 10th through 12th in Memorial Park, an outdoor gallery with over 200 artists, entertainment, and food. Tickets at BayouCityArtFestival.com.
Houston Public Media is a service of the University of Houston and is supported with your gifts to the Houston Public Media Foundation. More information available online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
We have a nice sunny day ahead of us with our high getting up to 91. Clear tonight, a low near 70. Right now it's 83. This is your NPR station, KUHF, Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston. It's 12 o'clock.
Just ahead on this hour of Hello Houston, Texas has moved to halt commercial driver's license for refugees, asylum seekers, and DACA recipients. We'll discuss this and more as we continue diving into today's top stories. I'm Ernie Manous.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. We'll also discuss the upcoming Filipino American History Month Festival with organizer Anthony Guevara, who will break down the sights, sounds, and flavors of the Philippines coming to Houston this weekend.
And I'm Frank Billingsley, plus Dr. Tara T. Green, chair of the University of Houston's African American Studies Department, will tell us about their upcoming Jazz Jam Brunch.
And we want to hear from you. Give us a call or send us a text at 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us on YouTube by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News, I'm Dale Willman. It's day 9 of the federal government shutdown, and as NPR's Deirdre Walsh reports, Democrats and Republicans remain far apart.
Top Republican and Democratic leaders remain deadlocked, with little signs of a way out. House Speaker Mike Johnson says his party did its job, but Democrats are more worried about political pressure from their base.
The people who are supposed to be protected are being completely cheated by Democrats in the Senate because they want to play politics.
The top Senate Democrat, Chuck Schumer, says Republicans are feeling pressure to extend health care subsidies that are expiring at the end of the year as part of any agreement.
They realize that the American people are on our side in wanting to fix this health care crisis, address it in a serious way.
But there are no serious negotiations on a compromise. Deirdre Walsh, NPR News.
Hamas and Israel have agreed to a tentative ceasefire. Under that deal, Hamas will release the remaining hostages in return for a release of Palestinian prisoners being held by Israel. Speaking at his cabinet meeting today, President Trump says the region will now be rebuilt.
Gaza is going to be slowly redone. You have tremendous wealth in that part of the world by certain countries, and just a small part of that, what they make will do wonders for Gaza, and I think you're going to see some tremendous countries stepping up and putting up a lot of money and taking care of things.
Palestinians in Gaza, meanwhile, are having mixed reactions to the impending ceasefire. Abu Bakr Bashir reports.
Ola Abu Nasser is displaced in a tent in central Gaza. She says she hugged her children when she heard the news about the ceasefire. She said, yes, we are happy, but it is wrong to feel so. Each one of us has many scars deep inside. She's one of the few survivors from her extended family after an Israeli strike on their building last year killed more than 130 members of her family. An NPR investigation found it was one of the deadliest Israeli strikes of the entire Gaza war. She says she fears Israel will resume the war after Hamas releases Israeli hostages. For NPR News, I am Abu Bakr Bashir.
Chip maker AMD has announced a deal to supply its chips to OpenAI. The chips will be used to build infrastructure for artificial intelligence applications. The agreement includes providing high-performance graphics chips for a total of 6 gigawatts of computing power for OpenAI's next-generation AI systems. China is now placing new restrictions on the export of rare earth minerals, and regulators are also extending controls over the use of those elements. Rare earth minerals are critical components of consumer electronics and medical imaging. They're also used in oil refining. Stocks are down across the board on Wall Street at this hour. You're listening to NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. Senator John Cornyn is in a statistical dead heat with Attorney General Ken Paxton in the Republican primary for the U.S. Senate, with Congressman Wesley Hunt in third place. News 88.7 political reporter Andrew Schneider says that's the finding of the latest survey by the University of Houston's Hobby School of Public Affairs.
Mark Jones, Rice University political scientist and co-author of the survey, says the finding reflects net gains by Cornyn among potential GOP primary voters, rather than Hunt taking support away from Paxton.
In the two-way race between Cornyn and Paxton, Cornyn has a 1 percentage point lead, whereas in a three-way race involving Hunt, Paxton has a 1 percentage lead over Cornyn, which statistically is the same thing.
Looking at the potential Democratic primary field, the survey finds Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett leading State Senator James Tallarico, former Congressman Beto O'Rourke, and former Congressman Colin Allred in that order. Neither Crockett nor O'Rourke have yet declared that they are candidates. I'm Andrew Schneider, News 88.7.
Houston ISD's Board of Managers will consider firing Michelle Williams at its board meeting tonight. She's a teacher and the union president of the Houston Education Association. She was assigned home duty with pay at the end of August for insubordination and, quote, failure to follow campus protocols. This is the second time HISD has tried to terminate Williams. She was removed from her classroom last year but was ordered by a court to be reinstated. Williams says it's retaliation by HISD because of her public criticism of the district's administration. Texas energy experts say renewable power sources are needed to keep up with the state's growing electricity demand. Matt Bombs is the executive director for the Texas Advanced Energy Business Alliance. He spoke at a media briefing Wednesday hosted by the Reliable Grid Project.
Renewables are absolutely bringing affordability to the grid in Texas, but they're also bringing reliability in a state that really needs it.
Experts on the panel pointed to energy storage as a way to bring down electricity costs and make the grid more reliable. I'm Alexandra Hart, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Fisher Investments. Fisher's dedicated team of specialists provide resources on investing, retirement income, estate planning, and more. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
From Houston Public Media and News 88.7, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now, Hello Houston with Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Hello Houston.
Good afternoon. What's the date?
Today is October 9th, 2025, and I tell you what, the YouTube chat, did I say 2029?
No, you said 2025, but I was like, thank you for giving us the year. I'm a little behind on that,
2025. I think it's important to, the complete date.
You were going to say about YouTube. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that our YouTube chat is going off, and we did get a question. Are you guys going to mention that another body was found in the bayou Tuesday night?
Well, I guess we just did.
Yeah.
Another body. But I'm going to stand by. I think this brings us up to how many, Frank? Did we say 14, 16?
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
No, it's right around that
number.
number.
I think you're closer. At 16.
16. But last year, in the entirety of the year, I think they found 24. So just to put it in perspective, these things find 26 last year.
This many in 2-3 weeks?
Well, we're aware of them finding them. Where
5 bodies were found in a 5-day span. And that was last month, and that was according to Police Chief Noe Diaz.
But no
connection between them.
No autopsy reports either. I assume they drowned, but I don't know.
I'm sitting here with my conspiracy theorists.
Well, and I really am not one at all, but this to me is a little sus. Okay. And I'm not saying that there's a serial killer. I'm not saying any of that. I am saying that now that this is coming to light, even last year, the amount of bodies found was that's alarming.
Why didn't we know?
Right.
That's a great question.
Your point, it's become a thing.
We did get a comment that says, huge city, lots of bayous.
That is true. Speaking of bayous, you're going to be at the Bayou City Arts Fest tomorrow. That was the worst segue ever made. But
there was nothing artsy about that at all.
Yeah, we're just in love with ourselves today.
So many jokes are going through my mind that I'm not going to say.
So you'll be there tomorrow?
I'm going to be there tomorrow. Yes. So if you are heading there tomorrow, apparently it's going to be a beautiful day.
Beautiful weekend. But yes, a beautiful day, beautiful Friday night football, beautiful Saturday, art walk in Galveston, Ernie's movie night, Saturday night. And whatever you have going on Sunday, it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yes, so if you are out at the Bayou City Arts Festival, I will be there. Come say hi to me. And you know what? If you're taking pictures, tag us, hellohouston.show on Instagram. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's one of my favorite parts of being a part of Hello Houston is our community, and getting out to be within the community is just even better.
And, you can find out tomorrow more about this, but it seems like the Bayou City Arts Festival maybe started out in Montrose, and then it moved downtown.
Right.
And then it moved from downtown to Memorial Park.
Actually, I think it happens in both places, in the fall in Memorial Park and in the spring downtown still. I think that's how they split it up. But Celeste will find out for us tomorrow.
All the nuts and bolts.
Yes, and I'm going to be talking to some of the organizers that put this on. It's grown a lot. Every year it just continues to grow and get bigger and better. And then I'm also going to be talking to one of the featured artists this year. And that's a really hard thing to do. So I'm looking forward to both of those.
I wonder if you might run into anyone that's been doing it, because it's been around, as long as we have, Ernie. I mean,
that's a long
No, I mean,
time.
I don't mean since 1960.
Shake the cobwebs off.
But I do mean since 1989, 90. I think I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe someone will.
From the time I moved here, it was a thing. It was still in Montrose, though, when I first moved here.
I wonder if anybody will be there that's been through the whole decades of this.
Yeah.
If there is, tell them to shout out to us.
Before we get into what comes next, our headlines and such, I do want to go back and just mention, in some ways, we kind of make light of the whole situation happening in the Bayou with the bodies, and we actually do want to say we're concerned, and that each time they find one of these bodies, it's a family that's in pain, that hurts, and when they're identified. So our hearts do go out to anyone who finds themselves touched by this.
By the way,
our YouTube comment that Governor Abbott wants to repaint the rainbow streets in Montrose. I read that this morning.
Yep, that's coming up. We'll be talking about that, I'm sure. But right now, Celeste, take us to the headlines.
Texas has moved to halt commercial driver's licenses for refugees, asylum seekers, and DACA recipients. That's the Department of Public Safety announced last Monday. Effective immediately, the state will no longer issue, renew, or reissue CDLs or commercial learning permits for those groups, including in-progress applications, which will be suspended until further notice. This policy comes in response to a new federal emergency rule from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which calls for stricter immigration status checks for commercial licensing. Under that rule, those lacking lawful status may only qualify if they hold certain employment visas. Texas is going further, refusing CDLs for refugees, asylum seekers, and DACA recipients entirely. Earlier this month, Governor Abbott also directed DPS and vehicle inspectors to evaluate commercial drivers' English proficiency. The move is expected to impact many in the trucking and transportation sectors and may invite legal challenges over enforcement and civil rights. Now is the time to join us on Hello Houston. What do you think? Are you in favor of this move by DPS and by our governor? Or are you completely against it? Now is the time to give us a call, 713-440-8870, or you can send us a text as well.
Yeah, I'm concerned by this, and from a practical reason, I'm thinking in a lot of cases, these folks will still be out there driving. They will just no longer have licenses. And I think that's more dangerous, not to make sure that they are proficient in what they need to do, but because I think what's going to happen is you've got a job, you got to make that money, and you're going to drive and do what you need to do to get there and to try. Hopefully companies that employ them will take this more seriously too. But I just think I think it's dangerous. I don't know.
Well, it's like any driver's license. How many people are out there driving without driver's licenses because for whatever reason they have to drive, and then they don't have insurance, they don't have a driver's license, and now you're saying, to your point, well, we're not going to give you one, so why even bother to try to get one?
Right, so you'll have more unlicensed drivers without insurance, without, I just think it's a dangerous path to be on. That's what I have to say about it.
Yeah. 713-440-8870. You can join the conversation on Hello Houston. What are your thoughts? Are you in favor of this move by the DPS, or are you completely against it?
It's that there's something to some of the accidents that have happened, and then the people involved did not speak any English, and it became even more problematic. That's one of the reasons, or do you think it's strictly to try to enforce some sort of immigration policy? I mean, that's my question. Is there an ulterior motive behind it? And if it's a legitimate, like, we need to do this, why now? Why hasn't this been done for the 100 years we've been doing this?
I think a lot of policy and issues that are coming up today are tied back to immigration. And I think there is an appetite out there in some parties to enforce at whatever level necessary. And there are people out there who are saying, slow your roll. This is getting out of hand. And so both of those factions continue to battle this out. But I don't think we can look at policies that are happening today without looking through that lens.
Well said.
Yeah.
Again, 713-440-8870. You're listening to Hello Houston. Now is the time to give us a call.
Ready for my story?
I'm ready.
She's still alive, people.
Oh, Lord.
Dolly Parton wants you to know that she is still with us. Country music icon Dolly Parton is asking fans to breathe easier after a wave of concern about her health. Earlier this week, one of Dolly's sisters posted that she hasn't been feeling her best, that Dolly hadn't been. And that prompted thousands to share and send prayers. That followed Dolly's decision. She had already posted that she was postponing her Las Vegas residency, citing health challenges. Then, of course, her sister pipes up and says she hasn't been feeling her best. People started praying. It kind of grew and grew and grew, this story. So on Wednesday, Dolly posted a 2-minute video with the emphatic message, "I ain't dead yet," and I'm quoting Dolly on that one. She went on to explain that she had ignored her health following the recent passing of her husband and was advised by doctors to undergo some treatments, prompting her to reschedule appearances and to stay close to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. But she has stressed her health issues are, quote, "nothing major." Then she said, "I'm not dying," she said, "and I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working." And I will mirror that and say, Dolly, we're not through with you yet either, so stick with us. Her message, she appreciates the concern, and she is certainly not finished. What do you think? Now, I think this is funny. Before we get into our chit-chat, the question put in our script to ask about this story is not Dolly related. The question is, do you ever have a relative do something crazy on social media?
Like say you're not feeling well and you might be dying?
A call, 713-440-8870. Have you had a relative, a friend post something that puts you in an awkward position? Or simply you want to share your love of Dolly with us? Give us a call.
I have to say, I think it's I have an older sister, and I think it's very sweet that her sister was putting out there, pray for her, that kind of situation. And then I also want to say, as somebody who, Dolly Parton wasn't a huge icon for me growing up necessarily. She is now. Okay. I love her. I think she's great. But one of the things that I thought was so interesting to me that really stuck out was how genuine her video was of her saying, I didn't take care of myself all that much. When my husband passed, I put things, when he was ill for a very long time, I put myself on the back burner. To me, it felt so genuine and honest of her. It didn't sound something like a PR firm typed up and sent to her. Yeah. And I thought that is why she's an icon. That's why she has the staying power, because she was genuine.
Yeah. Authenticity. When you get Dolly, you get what you get.
Yeah.
Even though what you get is all fake. And she tells you that.
Well, I knew her publicist, Mac Newberry.
Oh, yeah.
And he said absolutely. She was one of the most fine, nice people, kind, genuine.
Not was, is Come on, we don't want to help add to the rumors.
And you know what? I used to watch her on the Porter Wagner show in the 60s.
Oh, my God,
and
how
she
old
was
are
his
you?
sidekick, and she would sell Breeze detergent. And you could get towels in the Breeze, and she would say, these nice fluffy towels, but you can only get them in boxes of Breeze.
Yeah.
Well, the song, I Will Always Love You, she wrote leaving Porter Wagner. When she left his show, she wrote this song to tell him she would always love him.
And that's the song Elvis wanted to buy from her.
Right.
And she said no.
Because he wanted to put his name on the writing credits and publishing rights on it.
And she wouldn't let him do that. And she's not only kind, she's smart as a whip.
And she's tiny.
Yes, she is tiny.
In most regards. When it comes to hair and other things, she's larger than life.
You want to take a call? We have completely back to the DACA issue here. Greg from Kingwood has a comment. Hi, Greg. Welcome to Hello Houston.
Hey, guys. Good show. You know, I also think that Governor Abbott needs to go further with this, and we should restrict all the people moving in from these blue states. Anybody from the north, anybody from outside of Texas should not be able to get a CDL and earn a living in the state of Texas.
Right.
I mean, really? Come
I get
on,
it.
Governor Abbott, Ken Paxton, really, stop this.
Yeah.
Texans.
Greg,
Agreed.
thank you very
Thanks,
much
Greg.
for those comments and more food for thought on that topic.
Yeah. Where does it stop?
I know that was DACA, but I want to go back to Dolly. I can't leave my Dolly alone here.
Before we go back to Dolly.
Oh, you're going to make me serious
I
again.
do want to just read this comment and then we can go back. Denise Ehrlich says the CDL restriction is ridiculous. If they have the right to work in the U.S., they should be able to get a commercial driver's license.
Great point from Denise. I like
Regardless of whether they speak English.
Yeah. 713-440-8870. You're always welcome to join the conversation right here on Hello Houston. And right now, we're also talking about Dolly Parton.
We have her audio.
Well, before we get to that, I want to go back. Now I want to go back to DACA there. And I want to ask, I'm assuming when we get to licenses and stuff that they are available in Spanish when you did the test, the written part of it, correct? I would assume it's in a number of languages.
I'm assuming.
Right. So that would lead to why would you do that if everyone has to speak English? But now I wonder if that'll change.
Denise also says Dolly for president.
Okay, taking us back to Dolly. We are told we have audio from Dolly telling us in her own words what's going on. Let's hear from Dolly.
But before I got started, I wanted to say, I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here.
There you go.
She didn't look sick to me there.
No, she
Actually, in all honesty, she looked like she'd been refreshed a little bit from the last time I
little
saw
glow
her. Little bit. And I love Dolly. I'm not a huge fan of her cake mixes. Have you seen all the products out there?
I haven't tried any, but I have seen them, yes.
What I wasn't a huge fan of was the price on them. But then I see them all the time on sale. And when they're on sale, I buy them, and they're great cake mixes. And she's got now a frozen food line, and she's an amusement park queen. She just really is a phenomenal person. You were mentioning, Celeste, that your daughter has an affinity for her.
My daughter loves Dolly Parton.
Why not?
And I think it was one Saturday we went to the library and she saw the Dolly Parton coffee book, the coffee table book, all about her costumes. Yeah. And my daughter looked through it and now is a Dolly Parton, can tell you, that was Dolly Parton's first outfit.
Well, I'm sure the Dolly Parton Museum is on the way at some point, but not yet.
Sure.
We do have a call from Mustafa from Houston. Hi, Mustafa. Welcome to Hello Houston. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon. Great to talk to you guys after listening for a long time. My compliment is about this subject. You bring in a lot of good subjects while you are on the show. The CDL issue is start from the government down to the driving schools. Those people, they give them CDL. They have no idea of speaking, writing English, basic English. And with this, especially on the roads in the overstate, when there is icing, and they say this icing, you need to put chains on your tires, and they don't understand it. That's what caused all these accidents, all these problems. And one in Florida, maybe you saw it, he was turning in the middle of the freeway on 70, killing somebody. And he has no papers, nothing. And the California issued him CDL driver.
Well, you have a text from Hector that pretty much says the same thing you're saying, that the CDL not being issued due to the fact that when a person goes to a training school, they train them just to pass the test. They don't teach them anything else and just leave that up to the employer. And the employers just see that they have the CDL, and so they don't teach them what they need to know. So they just hand them a key and let them drive. But Hector is saying they need to have absolutely more in-depth training coming from the CDL training school. Which I didn't even think of that. That makes good sense.
Yeah, but that seems like that's a problem for the schools, and the schools should be more regulated. And
that's the training schools, yeah.
That's right. But again, 713-440-8870. Hello, Houston, where Houston talks, and we appreciate you giving us a call. But coming up on Hello, Houston, the Filipino Festival is bringing together the sights, sounds, and flavors of the Philippines to Houston this weekend, and we're going to talk with festival organizer Anthony Guevara. This is News 88.7. Stay with us.
Thanks for listening to Houston Public Media and Hello Houston. We're glad you're here, and we know you're here because you rely on this station and this show to bring you the truth, variety of opinions, and something to help you grow in your understanding of the world around you. And especially now, there is so much going on in the news that you want to hear different points of view and understand the news better. You know that when you hear a story on Houston Public Media, it's truthful and fully researched. And that's only possible because of you. Make your gift right now to ensure that we're able to continue to provide all the news and information you rely on. You can make that gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or you can give us a call at 888-909-0887. I'm Ernie Manous.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. Here's the exciting part, and I'm excited to tell you. The size of your gift doesn't matter in this challenge. We just need 55 more listeners to reach our goal and unlock $5,000 for this station. It could be $5, it could be $500 or $5,000. But what matters is that you give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up the phone, 888-909-0887.
Think about what Houston Public Media means to you and make that donation right now. What does it mean for your kids and your community? Give us a donation right now. houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter most when a story stays with you, or a piece of news that helps you understand the world just a little better. That's what Houston Public Media offers. Connection, clarity, and care for our community. When you give, you make this space possible for everyone, and that's the key. It's for everyone. So thank you for listening and engaging with us, and for giving at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Right now, all we need is 55 more listeners to reach out to unlock that $5,000. Do it right now while we're talking about it, while you're thinking about it. Just go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or as always, you can call 888-909-0887.
If you believe in protecting the public from misinformation and understand the importance of an informed community, pick up that phone, 888-909-0887.
On the next Science Friday.
Hello, I'm Bob Maniger from the Ed and Jean Matthews Foundation. PBS has been a part of our family for generations, and we are proud supporters of Houston Public Media. From PBS Kids programming that supports children and their parents, to PBS NewsHour that we rely on to learn about what's going on in our world. Your support keeps PBS available for our community across Greater Houston. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Donald Trump has threatened to punish New York if Mamdani wins the race for mayor.
I think that will be an inevitability. This is an administration that looks at the flourishing of city life wherever it may be across this country as a threat to their entire political agenda.
Zohran Mamdani. He joins me next time on the New Yorker Radio Hour.
It's on Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
We're grateful that you're tuning into Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Support comes from Doran Mayhew, a CPA and advisory firm with tax, accounting, audit, payroll, consulting, and more, serving all sectors, including construction, manufacturing, wholesale distribution, and international. More at DOEREN.com.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from listeners like you and from Baylor College of Medicine. Through research and innovation, Baylor continues to redefine what's possible in healthcare and medical discovery.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on today's topics, call or text 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's Ernie Manous and guest host Doris Childress.
Where did that come from? Who's Doris Childress?
She was here back on like August 31st.
I think we're right church, wrong pew.
Yes. Let me correct this. It's Ernie Manous along with Celeste Diaz-Sherman and Frank Billingsley. There we go.
I felt like it all just kind of woke us everybody up. You listening?
It shows we pay attention.
It was a test. All right. October is Filipino American History Month. And this weekend, Post Houston, which is a wonderful venue, is turning up the energy with a vibrant celebration of culture, community, connection. The Filipino American History Month Fest, known as FAM, is bringing together the sights, sounds, flavors of the Philippines, from a bustling market of handmade goods and traditional eats to live music, dance, cultural performances this Sunday at Post Houston. It's a chance to honor heritage, support local vendors, and experience the heart of the Filipino community right here in Houston. And joining us now to tell us more about what is in store is festival organizer Anthony Guevara. Welcome to Hello Houston, Anthony.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm very happy to be here, so I appreciate it.
You know, I know a lot of Filipinos, and they did very well, by the way, on Broadway these days.
Yeah, several of them.
Amazing talent in the Filipino community. So tell me, how big is the community here in Houston?
Here in Houston, actually, we have about a growing community of about 80,000, right?
Wow.
So here in the surrounding Houston metropolitan area, inclusive of Galveston, Woodlands area. So yeah, we're a growing community, so here in Houston and in the state, actually. A lot of people are moving here because the standard of living here in Houston is a lot cheaper than, let's say California or New York. So a lot of them are moving here.
You know, when I think of the Philippines, pardon my weatherness, I always think of hurricanes, typhoons.
Yeah.
Those typhoons the Philippines are the gateway to Asia, it seems like, and they just get hammered. But the resilience of the Filipino people, nothing gets them down.
You're right, Frank. So, and we actually just got hit with another Cat 5 a couple weeks ago, right? So, but the resilience and I guess also the community, here locally are also very supportive of what they're doing in the Philippines. So I do have nonprofits that are actually doing fundraisers at the festival. That's going to be raising money for funds for, and they got hit with not only a typhoon, but an earthquake on top of that. Yeah. So we're doing what we can here and also celebrating Filipino American History Month. And what that means is basically how Filipinos have contributed to American history and especially Houston history. So we've got it curated to, in a special way that shows different elements of Houston Filipinos and what they're doing in their contributions to Houston.
Talk to me a little bit about the community here in Houston.
Yeah.
Their growth, what they've accomplished, where their strengths lie, what areas they like to work in. Where is the contribution?
Contribution, a lot of it's in healthcare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a stereotype of ours. So it's like that. Filipinos are known to be nurses and engineers. The medical center right now is probably the most highly populated Filipino area right now if we go down there. But yes, and it started because, and this year's theme, Filipino American History Month started by FONS, the Filipino American National Historical Society. That's how it started in 2002 with the founders, Uncle Fred and Auntie Dorothy Cordova. And I think in 2009 is actually when it got passed through Congress. So, we're just honoring it here. But going back to what the contributions are here in Houston and the population, I mean, they started through that in 1965, Immigration Act. So a lot of people moved here through healthcare. You know, they were students or they were actually working in the hospitals, engineers as well. My parents actually moved here in the late 60s as well. So I'm born and raised here. Went to Bel Air High School, and then I went to A&M. So I was like, I'm native.
Anthony, when we're talking about this festival, we're obviously people will learn about the history and the contribution of Filipinos within our community, but we can't talk festival without food.
Yes.
Oh, let's talk food.
So Filipino food is amazing, right? So, and also we and it's sponsored this year by Mamacita's, which is like the Goya of Filipino products.
Interesting.
Right? So it's like the biggest Filipino food. Right? Every Filipino has a Mamacita's packet in their house, and then one of the brands is Sinigang. Hopefully somebody has it there. So we have different vendors, that it's going to be showcasing a lot of different cuisines. I wish it could be even bigger. We'll grow it to that point. It's just a little bit of a taste, and then our entertainment's going to be amazing. We're actually paying tribute to a couple of Filipino-American Houstonians, one that just passed away a couple of months ago. He was only 38 with cancer.
Wow.
But he was a producer that worked with like Kanye West, Chris Brown, and a couple other ones, and another young DJ who was also Filipino DJ crew called the Cracker Nuts, who was on the radio, actually, on some of the other stations. They're big in the nightlife scene. A lot of Filipino DJs are in the nightlife scene, or in also radio as well. So we're trying to bring that and show the rest of you, saying, hey, we've been here, we've been doing this. So we're paying tribute to those two guys. I got a friend who is a rapper named Nup coming, and he's worked with Paul Wall, a Houston legend, Baby Bash, and then like E40, and then got an American Golden Ticket recipient, American Idol Golden Ticket recipient. He's performing as well. Ira Perez, a soul singer. She's saying, and Filipinos love to line dance and Zumba.
Oh, nice.
So like, but
love a good
we're
Zumba.
starting that at 12:30, and then I got high schoolers doing Tinikling, which is the national dance, and then I got cultural dancers, FYP, the Filipino Young Professional Cultural Ambassadors, are doing cultural tropical rhythms as well as doing cultural. And then the evening, we're taking you back to like the Manila Sound, where it's like, we're known for cover bands. Like I said, Arnold Pineda of Journey, like he got discovered through YouTube for that.
Yeah.
So we have similar, not as great as Arnel, but Arnel's a different beast. But it's going to be an amazing, I got a great, Narcabico is an amazing singer from the Philippines, but he lives in Austin. He's coming down to share his talent. And also, very popular Filipino band out of, a restaurant here called Jerry's Grill. They have live music Friday and Saturdays, and Six Elements is going to be playing, giving you the best of like OPM and like acoustic chill vibes. So it's like, I'm going from hip hop, Phil-Am, and we got Break Free also. Break Free, the biggest breakdancing group in the city, coming through with a Pinay Filipina B-girl, Eden, who's going to be also showcasing. So trying to bring, our different flavors of Houston and what we've contributed to the city, to Houston. So, everybody's invited. Y'all come out, have fun. I'd love to, entertain you guys and introduce you guys.
And when is it? Is it at the Post?
Yes, at the Post.
This weekend?
This Sunday, 12:30 to 8:30.
So it's a one-day festival.
All of that in one day?
And I also have a kids' corner with the teachers that are teaching like Filipino stuff and Filipino American history in Eden, all the bottom floor of the Post.
Talk to me a little bit about the partnership with the Post and bringing this into that kind of a facility.
Right. So been blessed. I worked with them last year, and they've I think this is the third year they're doing it as well. And then I know Fam Hospitality in the Post. So we appreciate the partnership with them as well, or I do. So actually celebrating Filipino American History Month, right? A lot of people call it Heritage Month, but unfortunately that's incorrect, and it's History Month.
History Month.
Because heritage is, talking about the Philippines and what's going on in the Philippines, and history is about, like I said, the contributions of Filipino Americans to America.
So forgive my ignorance, but we all have a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant. Are there Filipino restaurants that are sort of popular in Houston that I just don't know about?
Oh, yeah, several, right? So there's ones, Be More Pacific, Flippin' Patties. The biggest Filipino grocery chain in the United States is actually in Sugar Land, Seafood City. Right, it's like the taste of all the Philippines are all there. So call me. I give y'all a tour. Go tell you
Be
what to
careful
eat.
what you
when
ask
not.
for.
So tell us the specialties. What's like the Mugu Gai Pan of the Philippines?
So we're known. We have a lot of Spanish influence. We were colonized by Spain by over 300 years. So a lot of Spanish influence. Adobo. We have a Filipino adobo, which is made with pork or chicken. It's all usually marinated in soy sauce and vinegar with bay leaves and peppercorns. Depends. Everybody's adobo is different, and they always say mine's better than yours. Right? It's like, my mom cooks it better. You're like, okay, we're not trying to compete here. We're just trying to eat, right? Lumpia, which is the egg rolls. You have Filipino egg rolls. I'm sorry, and then also pancit, which is like the noodles. Those are like the popular classics. Then we have lechon, which is like a roasted pig.
Lechon, that's very Spanish.
Yes,
I feel like,
yeah. So we do that as well with lemongrass and garlic inside, and then they roast it, and the skin is crispy like candy.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah,
I'm hungry already.
You could have brought a little bit with
I should have.
you.
Next time, come on. I don't know if it's going to be at the post, but y'all call me. Let me know. I'll definitely take you to the Seafood City or some of the other places here. And we all love karaoke. Like, Be More Pacific has a karaoke room. We can hang out there.
I'm going to go back to nuts and bolts about it. So if it's at the post, does that mean indoors or outdoors?
It's indoors.
So that means air conditioning.
Yes.
So even though,
so we're not going to feel like
but
the
you
Philippines.
Still need that sun beating
or if
down
it's
on you all day.
raining, it's Houston. We never know.
Not
So that's
rain.
great that you have that facility to rain or shine. You
Rain or
guys
shine,
move
yes.
forward.
And not only because even upstairs, and then we're also senior and kid friendly. So, and going upstairs, which is beautiful. I mean, if there's a lot of people, it's going to be a little bit more of a trek. And sometimes the entertainment, like last year and previous, is that, it wasn't, some people I found out afterwards, like, I didn't even know there was anything going on upstairs. So I was like, let's keep it focused downstairs, have different areas as well so people can enjoy the, all the festivities.
I was going to say, but there's an elevator that takes you.
Yes, there is.
We found that when we had a photo shoot there.
Oh, yeah. But if you didn't know, you'd be like, how do I get upstairs? It's like, it doesn't even say. You have to ask, is there an elevator here?
Okay, so I'm going to the festival. I have 1 hour. What must I absolutely see or do?
Oh, wow, that's hard. Actually, I mean, I think the tribute, to be honest with you, at 2 o'clock, right? Because it's special to a lot of us, because like our friend passed away, a young guy who's, did a lot for not only putting Filipinos on Americans on the map, but also Houston on the map, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that tribute is going to be really special, right? So, but the whole day, like I said, is lined up, with different activities and entertainment. I mean, you all know Filipinos love to sing and eat and dance. So I mean,
Well, they're pretty good at it.
I think we all do.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
Darren Chris knows how to sing.
Yes, and Darren is part Filipino. Yeah,
I
he's
know.
also. And then Leia Salon. Let's put it this way. The Filipinos shut down Miller.
Yes, they did that show.
The show. Leia performed at Miller Outdoor. So thank you to Asia Society and Miller. But yeah, like I had some people like, oh, I tried to get tickets. They crashed the website. They couldn't get tickets. So
wow.
And there was like the hill was several thousand.
Maybe we'll help you crash the website for your festival. Now,
I would love that. I mean, you can just go to the Post website and check their socials as well. I know, and also the partner as well, Midnight Agency with Sue. She's done a wonderful job, organizing everything. Fam Hospitality, David and them, and then also, Meredith, I'd love it as well. Like, it's been a wonderful opportunity and a great partnership that we're hoping to build for bigger events that we can bring. Maybe Arnel Pineda here. That'd be wonderful.
That would be fantastic.
We're so glad you came to tell us all about it.
The Filipino American History Month Fam Fest is taking place this Sunday at Post Houston. Anthony Guevara is an organizer for the Filipino Festival. Anthony, again, thanks for joining us today. It sounds like a fun time. But coming up, we're going to continue discussing the
Jazz Brunch.
Jazz Brunch.
Yeah.
More food coming up. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues.
Did you know we got a $500 pledge in the last half hour?
I'm not surprised. We
I
have some of the
know.
best supporters.
I love that. So we're coming to you right now because we are asking you to support the journalism that you depend on. We are fully funded by you. I'm sure you heard the federal government took away our funding. So we've been making up for that for sure. I want to emphasize that your support really makes a difference to our station because it's the only way that we can continue to operate. Yeah. There you go. It's the fuel for our engine. So we bring you the news that you rely on thanks to you. And we want to say thank you so much to our recent donors. Cynthia from Houston.
Amy
Thank you,
from
Cynthia.
Houston. Thank you, Cynthia.
Amy from Houston. David from Lake Jackson. Rodolfo from Rosenberg, just 4 that have chimed in, so you can join them and make a difference now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Celestia Sherman. Your gift right now is what will bring us closer to the 54 gifts needed to unlock $5,000 for Houston Public Media. That will go right back into bringing you the news and information that you rely on every single day. And it doesn't matter how much you give. What matters is that you stand up for the station that you rely on. Make your gift and get us closer to our goal right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up that phone, 888-909-0887.
And it's just not us. It's PBS Kids shows, local educational programming. Houston Public Media really sparks curiosity, creativity, and confidence in children across the greater Houston area. So with the federal funding gone, your support ensures that these continue free. Our trusted resources are here, not just for your kids, but for your grandkids too. So you're really investing in learning, in future thinkers, and our community's future. Make your gift now. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or 888-909-0887.
And Houston is strong, Houston is diverse, and we are resilient. And Houston Public Media reflects that spirit. Whether it's breaking news, local stories, or trusted coverage, this is the station that you guys stand on. So go to HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, and we want to thank you.
Hi, I'm John Don.
Hi, I'm Michael Schaefer. My partner Ellen and I have been proud supporters of public radio and TV for decades.
We really would be lost without our daily fix of unbiased national and local news, cultural programming, and great entertainment.
But with recent federal defunding, stations like Houston Public Media face real challenges.
Now's the time to step up.
Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org.
Thank you.
Politician Zohran Mamdani. Donald Trump has threatened to punish New York if Mamdani wins the race for mayor.
I think that will be an inevitability. This is an administration that looks at the flourishing of city life wherever it may be across this country as a threat to their entire political agenda.
Zohran Mamdani. He joins me next time on the New Yorker Radio Hour.
It's Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
We're grateful that you're tuning in to Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Ellen Binnenhoven and Dr. Michael Schaefer, proud sponsors of Houston Matters with Craig Cohen. Tune in Monday through Friday at 9 on News 88.7.
Support comes from Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, presenting Craft Texas 2025, a juried show featuring work by nearly 50 Texas artists in a variety of media. More at crafthouston.org.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on today's topics, call or text 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's Ernie Manous, Celestia Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
On Saturday, October 11th, the University of Houston's African American Studies Department will host its second annual Jazz Jam Brunch to help support programs and opportunities for student success. Joining us now to tell us more is Dr. Tara T. Green, professor and chair of the African American Studies Department at the University of Houston. Dr. Green, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hello, thank you.
Hello. If folks have questions or want to just join the conversation, they can call and text at 713-440-8870. 8870.
Now, Dr. Green, I love jazz and I love brunch. And so this sounds like a fabulous event. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about the African American Studies Department here at UH. Talk to us a little bit about, for some people that might not know, what does that look like in the curriculum and what do students learn?
Well, like so many of the courses that we expect for students to take at any university, students learn how to solve problems. They learn how to analyze issues. And so our students have to do a great deal of reading and writing, and they also engage with today's technology. So in my class, Introduction to African American Studies, our students will be forming a town. That's their project, and they will be using AI to do that.
Wow, that is so interesting.
That is interesting. I had no idea. So tell us the nuts and bolts of the brunch. It says Jazz Jam, so I'm assuming there are some musicians along with good food.
Yes, we will be jamming to jazz. So we will have a brunch that the food will be provided by Langsted Catering, a very well-known caterer in this area. And so people will be eating some breakfast items, including some vegan options. Then we will have a short program where we will present 2 awards, one to an alumni and one to a community organization. And then we will recognize our students who are scholarship recipients. And really this program is all about our students and being able to help them to get that degree, hopefully in 4 years. And so after we finish doing that, we will jam to the jazz music provided by the Bayou Brass ensemble that will be allowing us to do some line dancing and some other kinds of things. So that's a favorite part of mine at these kinds of events.
Everybody loves line dancing these days.
Line dancing is
I'm
great.
not particularly good at it, but I can learn.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone too, this is Saturday, October 11th at the Ensemble Theater, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to go back to a little bit about why the need for this event when it comes to funding within the university. Are there challenges in funding right now that something like this helps to move programs forward? How is it applied?
Yeah, well, we can only do so much with state funding, and we do have that, but our scholarships are really important. And so we have some private donations that have been given to us over the years. And of course, we do accept new donations and new scholarships that are set up. We have, for example, a scholarship, the social justice scholarship that is named after Reverend William Lawson, who was also a very well-known social justice advocate here in the city. And we will be celebrating the fact that Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, which was a church that he founded along with some other wonderful people here in Third Ward, that they have given us a $200,000 donation so that we can give more money to students as they come in, and not just one student, but multiple students. And then we also have a Summer Emerge Leadership Academy program that we started 3 years ago. And that program is free to high school students, to those who are rising juniors and seniors who are enrolled in high schools here in the area. And because it's free, that means that we need donors' money to be able to continue that program. So we have a lot of wonderful things that are going on. And once we get those donations, we use that money responsibly.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us about the scholarship recipients and what they represent to be getting this, excellent scholarship?
Yeah, so we have several scholarships. Many of those scholarships go to students who have at least a 3.0 average. Several of those students want to go into law. We have one student that wants to go into social work. And we have students that are maybe artists who want to do various things to help the community. So there is an application process. They have to apply. A couple of those are open to students who are not African American majors or minors. And so we received 47 applications this year. So it is very competitive, but we are so very happy that we were able to help at least 12 students this year. So we're giving out over $100,000 in scholarship funding.
Is this for high schoolers coming in for a freshman year, or is this for students that are already here and in the program, or both?
Some of them are. Some of them are. So several of our AAS scholars, those students were chosen after they applied and were successfully admitted into the university. And then we have scholarships for students who are already here, a few of whom are either juniors or seniors. They have received that because we know that it is extremely important to be able to have funding that supports students, even if it's just one more semester or they need to go for summer and take one class. Sometimes that could be the time where they don't have any funding, but they need it.
Yeah. To speak a little bit about funding, we know in this day and age, a lot of institutions of higher learning are having trouble securing their funding, moving forward with their funding. Is it something you folks in your school are dealing with right now? Is it something that U of H is concerned with right now, or are things pretty good?
Well, I can't really speak for the University of Houston. We have a president and her staff who speaks to those things. I can only speak for our department. And so our department is very happy to have the state funding that we have. But again, it is important for us to be able to get that donor money because it allows us not only to be able to help the students who are currently here, those students who are coming in, but also to expose academic life and higher education to students who may be considering going to a university or who weren't really sure. And so that's what we do through our summer program.
Nice.
Excellent. Dr. Tara T. Green is a professor and chair of the African American Studies Department at the University of Houston. Dr. Green, thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thank you so much.
The Jazz Jam Brunch will take place on Saturday, October 11th at the Ensemble Theater. And that brings us to the end of our show. We want to thank you for watching and listening to Hello Houston. We'll be back tomorrow with more conversations, and we'll be at the Bayou City Arts Festival. This is News 88.7.
Thank you for listening to Hello Houston on Houston Public Media. You know, we talk about this a lot these days. This station is now 100% community supported. That means it's supported by you. So we're turning to you because we know that this service is important to not just you, but our whole community. And we want to thank some folks who are very appreciative of the work we do because they have stepped up and supported us. Dorothy from Spring, Gregory from Katy, Peter also from Spring, Brian from Sugarland, Julia from Houston, all of them have shown their support, and we thank them. And now we ask you to join them and also support. Make a gift right now to HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, or you can do it on the phone, 888-909-0887. I'm Ernie Manous.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. We are this close to unlocking $5,000, but we need to hit 51 more donations to do it, and your gift could be the one that gets us over the line. Imagine the quiet satisfaction of knowing you made the challenge real. This is the kind of impact that you can feel good about, making a difference through journalism. Don't leave this moment hanging. Be the one. You are the one. Give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
You know, school is back in session, and Houston Public Media is right there with families offering trusted educational shows, local learning resources, and content that builds curious, confident kids. But here's the truth. Our federal funding is gone. This work now relies 100% on our community and community support. And if you believe that every child deserves access to free educational programming, now is the time to give. If you believe everyone in the community should have access to trusted truthful, fact-based journalism. Now is the time to give. Give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
And listen, in a city as dynamic as Houston, you need a source that you can count on. Houston Public Media is here. We are that source through every storm, every election, every moment that matters. It's a service built by and for this community. And it's your support that keeps it going. Stand with the news and stories that reflect Houston's strength. Make your gift now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
The energy is building. We're only 51 gifts away from unlocking $5,000 for Houston Public Media. For those of you who are saying, well, what's going on here? So if we hit certain numbers of gifts, certain call-ins, certain memberships made online, we unlock new revenues of dollars for the station. It's to show that the community is supporting the work. Then that gives us more money toward the work. So every gift brings us closer. Your gift right now will make all the difference and will move us closer to our goal. So please step in right now and give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Thanks for listening to Hello Houston. Join us every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to talk all things Houston. The Hello Houston production team includes Garrett Bowman, William Menjivar, Jen Altide, Todd Holslander, and Jim Kovacic. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at HoustonPublicMedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.